Would you pray with me? Open us, O God, in the lowly places of our lives to be on the mountaintop of your presence. Open us, O God, to see what this world cannot understand. Open us, O God, that we might believe and serve and proclaim the one who is Christ of all. Now may the words of my mouth, the meditations of all our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O God, our strength, our salvation. Amen. Excuse me. Most Sundays I like to start our meditation with a joke. But this week I think the joke's on us. This is in yesterday's paper. Mary and I have talked about this a little bit this morning already. Newtown Vigil bears discord for Lutherans. Minister is punished for praying for shooting victims with other faiths. You remember the service that was held right after the events in Newtown, and they had that interfaith service? The LCMS pastor was a part of that service. It's a great thing. My hat is off to that person. The local LCMS pastor in this town will not participate with the other pastors because there are rules about such things. They fear, and it's ruled, that there will not be unions, there will not be syncretism between the faiths, lest they be in some way dampened by our presence. That pastor, Reverend Morris, participated because he felt it was the right thing to do, and he let the people that were above him know that he was going to do this, and he added the appropriate disclaimers and yada, yada, yada. But still, he was forced to apologize to the denomination because he sinned. One of his critics claimed it was like sleeping with a prostitute and saying it has no effect on the relationship that you have at home. I think sometimes we forget that our lives and our behavior in the church is right there on the table. We go running around in all of our places as though we are autonomous from God, as though we are autonomous from Christ, as though the Spirit has no claim on us, that whatever we choose to do, we can do, and God forgive us if we're wrong, God praise us if we're right, but either way, we're going to do what we want to do. The fact of the matter is, everything we do is right here. You, me, the Lutheran Church, the United Church of Christ, the Catholic Church, and we don't pay attention to that. When Jesus goes up the mountain with Peter, James, and John and prays, something extraordinary happens. Have you ever had extraordinary experiences in prayer? Have you ever had an extraordinary experience in prayer? That suddenly, whatever it is you were praying for, you just felt the weight lift. You felt the peace inside. You felt the quiet. You need to spend a lot of time in prayer to find those things, you know, a lot of earnestness about it. It does happen. And Jesus is praying and is transformed, and suddenly things are completely different. And Peter, James, and John, though they were tired, they saw what happened, and he's standing with Moses and Elijah there on the mountain, and Jesus is dazzling. And Peter, not understanding what he was saying and just full of the moment, says, "Let us fix for you 3 booths. Let us institutionalize you and this place, lest we forget what transpired here, lest we forget this moment." As though God would not ever do another moment like that, as though God does not have the capacity to do it anywhere God chooses to do it. We want to put it here, and we want to have it this way, and we want everybody else to see that. And God comes into that moment, covers them with a cloud, and says, "Now listen. This is my son, the chosen. Listen to him." This isn't about building a shrine. This isn't about dogma. This isn't about law. This is about who we are. And I'm not railing on the Lutheran Church. I'm railing on us. It brings to the fore, that event brings to the fore the things that we do to one another in the name of the church that are shameful. Listen to him means walk with him. Trust him. Trust the power of God to open our eyes in new ways every day. Trust the glory of God to shine in your life wherever you are. Trust the power of God to transform. Because who you are and what you say and the things you do are the gifts that you and I lay on the table of victory every moment of our lives. This is our offering. What the hell kind of offering is that? But I could say the same about the things that we do to one another. Well, you know, we don't do it that way. We don't put things away in those places. I'm not sure we want to go there in our witness. I'm not comfortable doing that. You know, that's what the law and dogma is used for. Most often is to protect ourselves from stretching beyond our comfort level and keeping everybody else in control. Walking in the transfiguration presence of Jesus, the transfigured presence of Jesus, listening to his voice, is risking transfiguration in your own life. It is risking that moment of aha and glory happening within you in every moment. Praying that it will. And that's a good thing. But it is also that which marks you as different. Different. And we don't want to be different. Because you're crucified when you're different. You are disdained when you're different. The power of the good news of the gospel, the power of the victory of this table where body and blood are broken and poured out, the power of these things is that God transforms, transfigures all of the other stuff of this world, redeems it, reconciles it, because God chooses. God chooses not to be held in our tabernacles, in our altars, in our dogmas, and in our laws. Now, mind you, I understand we are a people who need structure. That's why God gave 10 commandments. But God gave 10 commandments to set us free, not to bind us up and silence us. Now is the time for the Christian community, not just the Lutheran Church, for the Christian community in entering into Lent. Now is the time for us to be pondering those things that we do to each other that imprison, shackle, and embarrass Christ. When in fact, all Christ wants to do with us is walk and talk and love and heal. The journey of Lent is about understanding, coming to understand how far we distance ourselves from God and coming to savor how far God will reach to bring us home. That's not something that we can mediate. God cares deeper than our capacity to push away. Thanks be to God. Thanks be to God. I pray for transfiguration in your life. I pray for transformation in all our lives. I pray that what gifts you set on the table of victory and sacrifice are the gifts that proclaim the nearness of the kingdom. May it be so for all of us in our day and in our place. That's how I'm hearing the text today. To be honest with you, I wasn't sure what I was hearing till this morning. What are you hearing? What questions do you have? What things were resonating in your mind about those texts? Mary.